Sandhan. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Hello friends, this is Nikhil Joshi. Today we are going to discuss The Eyes Are Not Here, which is a short story written by Indian English author Ruskin Bond. Let's have a look on critical analysis of the short story. As we know that Ruskin Bond is a very famous name on the canvas of Indian English literature. He has written many short stories, essays, particularly he has worked considerably in the area of literature for children. So let's have a look, first of all, on the author's profile. The Eyes Are Not Here is a short story which is having, multi-dimensional messages. It can be analyzed through various points of view. First of all, I would like to say that it's a kind of young adult fiction. It does have fantasy and it does have a lot of potential of psychoanalytical interpretation. Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Lendore in Mussoorie, India today. The Indian Council of Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. Sahitya Akademi Award he has received in 1992 for his work A Trees Still Grow in Tehra. He has also received Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. Ruskin Bond has done a wonderful job, particularly in the genre of short story. He was born on 19th May 1934 in a military hospital to Edith Clark and Aubrey Bond in Kasoli, Punjab State's agency at that point of time in British India. His siblings were Ellen and William. Ruskin's father was working with the Royal Air Force from 1939 till 1944. When Bond was 7 years old, his mother separated from his father and married a Punjabi Hindu named Hari. This is all about Bond's family background. Let's move ahead with his early years. Bond spent his early childhood in Jamnagar, Gujarat, and Shimla too. At the age of 10, he went to live at his grandmother's house in Dehradun after his father's death. He did his schooling from Bishop Cotton School in Shimla, from where he graduated in 1950 after winning several writing competitions in the school. So, since his early years, he started writing short stories and he could win many competitions and many prizes during his school years. He wrote one of his first short stories, Untouchable, at the age of 16 in 1951. Moving ahead with Bond and his relation with UK. Following his high school education, he went to the UK in 1951 and he stayed over there for 2 years. In London, he started writing his first novel, The Room on the Roof, the semi-autobiographical story of the orphan Anglo-Indian boy named Rusty. Rusty is one of the very famous characters created by Ruskin Bond. It won the John Llewellyn Rhys Prize in 1957, which was awarded to a British Commonwealth writer under 30. He moved to London and worked in a photo studio while searching for a publisher. After getting it published, Bond used the advance money to pay the sea passage to Bombay and he'd settle in Dehradun. So, this is how he came to India. Rather, I would say came back to India because he was born and brought up during his early years of life in India only. Then he went to England and then he came back to India. Let's have a look on Bond and his relation with a place called Mussoorie in India. In 1963, he went to live in Mussoorie because, besides liking the place, it was close to the editors and publishers in Delhi. He edited a magazine for 4 years over there. In the 1980s, Penguin set up in India and approached him for writing a few books. He had written Vagrants in the Valley in 1956 as a sequel to The Room on the Roof. These two novels were published in one volume by Penguin India in 1993. Let's have a look on Bond and his other works. Since then, he has written over 500 short stories, essays, and novels, including The Blue Umbrella, Funny Side Up, and Flight of Pigeons, and more than 50 books for children. He has also published 2 volumes of autobiography, Scenes from a Writer's Life, which describes his formative years growing up in Anglo-India. And the other one is The Lamp is Lit, which is a collection of essays and episodes from his journal. He was fond of writing his own life story in his own journals, which helps the critical analysis of his works while we are doing the critical analysis of his works. I would be very happy to share with all of you that Bond has also worked in the field of films, particularly in Bollywood. The 1978 Bollywood film Junoon, which was based on Bond's historical novella A Flight of Pigeons, and it was produced by Shashi Kapoor and directed by Shyam Benegal. So he has worked with such legendary artists in Bollywood. His famous character Rusty, which was later on adapted by Doordarshan for a TV series named Ek Tha Rusty, under the Rusty Stories. Several stories have been incorporated in the school curriculum in India, and in 2007, the Bollywood director Vishal Bhardwaj made a film based on his popular novel for children, The Blue Umbrella. And this movie won the National Award for Best Children's Film. Ruskin Bond has also appeared on big screen. Earlier he was behind the screen, but later on, with the movie Saath Khoon Maaf, which was again directed by Vishal Bhardwaj, he appeared on big screen with Priyanka Chopra, and he played a role of Bishop in the movie Saath Khoon Maaf. Now let us talk about the story The Eyes Are Not Here. It's all about human perceptions, and the story reveals its full richness and complexity as a meditation on human perceptions and perceptiveness, and how both are influenced by the assumptions we make. The most important punch in the story is it often happens that people with good eyesight fail to see what is right in front of them. The story goes ahead, moves on with this particular punchline. The story uses first-person point of view. Riding on a train and sitting in a compartment of the train, it provides the setting of the story. So the entire story moves on in the train compartment, and there are hardly 3 characters in the story. There are 2 more, but they are having a very minor role in the entire setting of the story. The entire story goes like a conversation, or rather I would say the first person narration. The author himself, the character himself narrates the story, and it's a kind of conversation between 2 characters in the compartment of a train. They are on their journey to some place and they are talking to each other. And finally, the story ends with the entry of the third, a new character, and here the story ends with a kind of twist. Let's talk about the factor of irony in the story. It's an excellent example of situational irony, which employs a plot device in which Events turn out contrary to expectation, yet are contrarily appropriate. Further, use of irony involves verbal irony when a character says one thing but he or she means something else. So, here in this story, the eyes are not here. We can definitely talk about the place of irony in the story. Before we move ahead, let's watch out this video and then we'll have a detailed talk on the story.
Take care of yourself and your belongings, okay? And call us when you reach there. Do not talk to any stranger on the way. No need to worry. I'll be fine. Bye-bye.
I wonder if I would be able to prevent her from discovering that I'm blind. Provided I keep to my seat, it shouldn't be too difficult. Are you going all the way to Dehra? Sorry. Didn't mean to startle you.
It's okay.
I'm getting off at Saharanpur. My aunt is meeting me there.
Oh, then I'd better not get too familiar. Aunts are formidable creatures.
Has she noticed? Maybe. Maybe not. People with good eyesight often fail to see what is right in front of them. They have too much to take in, I suppose. Whereas people who cannot see only have to take in the essentials.
So where are you going?
Off to Dehradun and then to Mussoorie.
How lucky you are. I love Mussoorie, especially in this season.
The hills are covered with wild dahlias and the sun is delicious. Most of the tourists would have gone by now. And the place is almost deserted. Yes, this indeed is the best time. So, what is it like outside?
What a terrible mistake I just made.
Why don't you look out of the window?
Relief.
The trees seem to be moving while we seem to be standing still.
It always happens. Do you see any animals?
I know for sure that there are hardly any animals left in the forest near Dehradun.
Well, you have an interesting face.
A daring but safe remark.
It's nice to know that I have an interesting face. I'm tired of people telling me that I have a pretty face.
So she is pretty. I wonder if her hair is long or short.
An interesting face can also be pretty.
You are a very gallant young man. But why are you so serious?
Well, it's a good thing. Your station will be coming soon.
Thank goodness it's a short journey. I can't bear to sit in a train for more than 2 or 3 hours.
As soon as she leaves, she'll forget our brief encounter. but it would stay with me for the rest of the journey and for some time after.
Beta, let me come get that luggage, you know? It's okay, I'll manage.
So, a new fellow traveler, huh? A new game to play.
You must be disappointed. I'm not as attractive as your previous companion.
She was an interesting girl. Could you tell me if she kept her hair long or short?
I don't remember. It was her eyes I noticed, not her hair. She had beautiful eyes, but they were of no use to her. She was completely blind. Didn't you notice?
That mainly it's all about a conversation which is happening between two young persons in the compartment of the train. And finally, at the end of the story, the third character, again a new fellow traveler, enters into the compartment. The girl leaves the compartment, and then there comes a sudden twist. Now, let us try to understand each and every phase of the story. Let us try to talk about even the references which are responsible for all kind of settings in the story. Why Bond has written this story, why he has written this story in this particular manner. So there are so many things which really happen in the life of Ruskin Bond during his young age. He was having a kind of, feeling